Alright, so for today's Steel Path Viable build, I'm going to be revisiting a weapon I did a build for about a year ago. So we're revisiting Aksomati Prime. So about a year ago, like I said, I did a build for this weapon, and that build is still good to this day. However, thanks to a couple of mod changes and a different Arcane, this weapon has become a heck of a lot stronger recently. So let me quickly go over the couple of changes. So the original build, I used a Heat and Corrosive build. This time I'm running Heat and Viral. And I've also got a different Arcane. Before I was using Secondary Merciless, this time I'm using Cascadia Flare, which when we get into the weapon I'll explain why I'm using it, but let's jump into the weapon and we'll go over the build. Before we get any further into the video, don't forget to like this video please, because it really helps with that YouTube algorithm. It helps people to find my videos. Don't forget to comment down below as well. Comments help with the algorithm, and it also helps me to understand what you guys want to see. Don't forget to subscribe because we're really trying to grow. We're hoping to get to the first 1,000 subs by the end of this year. Don't forget to turn on those notifications as well, because you'll get notified of all of my uploads and my live streams when I go live. And don't forget to join me on my socials. Those are all linked down below, but let's get back into the video. So we're running Lethal Torrent for 60% fire rate and 60% multi-shot. We're running Pistol Gambit for 120% critical chance. Galvanized Diffusion for 110% multi-shot and on-kill plus 30% multi-shot for 20 seconds stacks up to 4 times. We're running Pistol Pestilence for 60% toxin and 60% status chance. We're running Frostbite for 60% cold and 60% status chance. We're running Scorch for 60% heat and 60% status chance. We're running Galvanized Shot for 80% status chance and on-kill plus 40% direct damage per status type affecting the target for 14 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. And we're running Target Cracker for 60% critical damage. We also have Steady Hands in the extra slot for weapon recoil. But if you don't want to run Steady Hands, I would highly recommend you change it for Lethal Momentum. Lethal Momentum is also a really good choice. The only reason I've gone for Steady Hands over it is because the weapons basically don't move. They have 0 recoil with Steady Hands, so it's just nice. It's a clearer shot. But Lethal Momentum will increase projectile speed so you can shoot faster. So it depends on what you want more. And in the Arcane slot, we're running Cascadia Flare. So on rank 5, on heat status effect, plus 12% damage for 10 seconds stacks up to 480%. So this thing at max rank, if you're running heat status and can proc it very frequently, this is stronger than Secondary Merciless, by quite a good margin as well. So as you can tell, like I said, we're running heat and viral on this build. I'll explain why in a minute. But we've got 52.8% critical chance, which doesn't seem like a lot, but then you realize that's per bullet, and you have 80 in the magazine, so pretty much half the time, for 40 bullets in the magazine, you're going to be critting. A 4.8 times critical multiplier, which is middle of the road. It's decent, you know. It's not bad. We've got 64.8% status chance, so again, factoring in it's per bullet. You get statuses pretty often, which is great because we need them for Cascadia Flare and for Galvanized Shot for extra damage. And like I said, heat and viral, so heat is going to help strip away that armor, and viral is going to help strip away that health. So realistically, we're going to be attacking them hard, and we're going to slash away their health with the viral. These also work in conjunction with Galvanized Shot to get extra damage off. However, if you don't want to run Galvanized Shot and want to replace it with Hornet Strike, which is just the normal damage mod, or if you want to replace it with one of the Bane style mods for specific factions, then feel free to do so. They do about the same damage anyway, but Galvanized Shot can be better. But that's the build itself. Let me jump into the mission and I will show you what this thing can do. Alright, so we're here at Aksomati in the Void, and I want to point out a couple of things before we jump into the mission. So the reason why I use the Void in my build guide videos is, one, because it's one of the latest points you'll access in the Steel Path, giving you higher enemies. Not to mention, the Corrupted here deal with bits of everything. So you have enemies here with just health, enemies with health and shields, and enemies with high armor, meaning you get a pretty broad understanding of what your weapons can do. I also want to quickly point out, whilst I'm using Grendel for this video, I will not be using his Nourish ability, because Nourish, I would use it for healing. However, Nourish also adds extra viral procs, which will then increase the damage of the weapon, meaning that it's not a fair test. So I will not use Nourish for the entire video. I will also show you what this skin can do against the Acolyte, of course providing I don't die to the Acolyte, because the Acolytes can wreck you pretty hard. So before we get in, I'm just going to quickly eat some enemies to increase my armor. There we go. That'll do. Let's jump in. So this is basically what Aksomati Prime can do. It's honestly nutty how strong this weapon actually is. Like, out of the gate, it hits pretty hard. And the cool thing with this is if you want to use this build, but don't have access to those arcanes, you don't actually really need them. Don't get me wrong, they help, and you can get higher damage numbers out, but you don't necessarily need them, especially if you're only going for Star Chart or for arbitration content. Like, if you're on the Steel Path, I would highly recommend that you get at least one of the 2 arcanes. Secondary Merciless. Well, actually, wait. Cascadia Flare is actually easier to get access to, really. Because all you have to do is farm Zariman. You get it from Angels of Zariman. So, realistically, you can get it pretty quickly. Like, in a few days, as long as you have the right rank to grab it. Meatball's that. So, we're going to use my Meatball quickly to heal. Give me armor, please. Give me armor. Thank you. Like, Grendel himself is a fantastic tank. He's literally one of the best tanks in the game now. What makes him so good as a tank himself, I really shouldn't be talking too much about Grendel because this video isn't about Grendel, but, like, he's cool. I do have a Grendel build on my channel. It's part of the Warframe playlist along with every single other Steel Path Viable build I've done. So feel free to look in that playlist. All of my build guides are in there. I don't know how many build guides I've done at this point. I think I've done at least 30. At minimum, I've done 30. Like, I've done so many build guides. As a matter of fact, I actually need to start putting more builds on weapons because I'm running out of builds to do. Like, I've burnt through most of my Steel Path Viable builds. That's why there's been a little bit of a break from these builds for a while, because I just haven't had the builds, like... I kind of want to space them out a little bit till I get more weapons done and dusted. Because the thing is, recently I haven't been playing too much Warframe. Like, I haven't really been playing it because I've been playing a lot of other games. And because I'm waiting for the next major update to come out. Although, to be honest, I do have Varuna. I do need to put a proper build on her. I will probably do that soon. So, don't forget to turn on notifications to check out that when it drops. Hopefully in a few weeks I'll get a build done for her. But yeah, Aksomati Prime itself is pretty strong, and when you trigger Cascadia Flare to its maximum, it melts. The only drawback to using this build is that we're not running anything that helps get rid of shields, meaning on enemies that are heavily armored with shields, they are a little bit slower to take out because, again, you don't only have to melt that armor, but you also have to melt those shields. And on heavily armored enemies, they have a lot more shields. So for, you know, heavy Eximus with shields, like Corpus Eximus with shields, or Acolytes, like the Acolyte itself, so you'll see that whilst the weapon is decent for taking down the shields, it's not the fastest. Although when you get to the health, that's when this weapon hits hard. Like, this weapon hits decently hard on that health itself, because by the time you've drained the shields to get to the health on the Acolyte, your status effects are already kicking in, meaning that not only is Cascadia Flare getting bonus damage, but you've also got Galvanized Shot, which is taking effect too. I mean, what you could technically do is get rid of the Viral on the weapon and add Magnetic for Corpus. But again, I don't really recommend it, because Viral is still good even against Corpus. I mean, granted, whilst, you know, it's not exactly the, you know, the cleanest way to get rid of Corpus, it's not too bad, because Corpus themselves still have health. You know, and this weapon melts through, on normal enemies at least, it melts through shields pretty darn fast. So you don't really have to worry too much about, you know, getting completely wrecked by the Corpus with this build. Because, I mean, whilst these are corrupted, they are still Corpus. You know, they still have the same attributes. It's like, they still have health and shields, you know. Alright, incoming Acolyte. Actually, want to quickly eat some enemies to get some shields. Sorry, armor, even. Which Acolyte we got? Malice. Oh, God. I need to meatball quickly so I can get some health. Right, where is this Acolyte? It's all the way over here, man. Whoa! Okay, yeah, he got me. Nice. I hate Malice. He's such a bad Acolyte. That ability wrecks you. This is another build where I couldn't show the Acolyte. And honestly, I've tried recording this 3 times now, and every time I get Malice, and every time he one-shots me. God damn it. Can I get Violence or Angst or someone else other than freaking Malice, dude? Whatever. Well, unfortunately I couldn't show you the Acolyte, but like I said, I told you it might happen. Like, because apparently all I get is Malice nowadays, which is really annoying. But, like I said, it goes through the shields at a decent pace, but then it gets better on the health. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the build. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and join me on my socials. Those are running down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.